Okay, here's a kind of a mini update, I guess, for now. Um, I'm about to move all this stuff around, but I have a lot of work to do to get it right. So, I'll try to show this real quick. I already took pictures, so I will remember where everything goes, like how it goes together. But, see, no, that's not right. This is why you take pictures if you rearrange. So, yeah, this was kind of like that. Okay, so trying to get this about right. Kind of. I mean, I'll do a better job on this here with the picture. I had a rock underneath the right side, but I'm gonna do kind of like this tree right here. But right now, kind of took it apart for now, and move shrimp. Try not to mess up the whole tank. I'm gonna take a couple of rocks and put them under here. So this is like up here. Now this is gonna float because that's rock zip tied to hold down. This still floats after 7 months, this piece. But yeah, I'm gonna raise it up about here and then add, we'll just let you float for now. So I got these stones here that I'm gonna put a couple kind of underneath just right there, and then put the wood back, and then I'm gonna add this one bag of Contro to it. And then hopefully that shouldn't take too long. Then after that, the wood on the right side, I'm gonna kind of leave it how it was, but I'm gonna leave the soil alone here. I was gonna add more soil on this side, but I'm not gonna put Rutalas this time in the back. I'm gonna put stuff that grows more like straight and slender, so that we can keep the intake back there and keep it clear of Rutalas. They won't jammed up in it. But yeah, so that's what we're doing here. The background, the soil is gonna be more like up to here, so it will be higher, more V-shaped, kind of. See how it got flat over time. The aggravating part lately with this tank is the plants, because I know you can't even see this, but let's see if I can reach the timer. Here's some of the plants. These plants have been pulled up and sort of kind of like separated and floated on this tank and this tank on the 38. But they've been floated for a few days because I needed the bag of Contrasoil for it. So some of the stem plants are already starting to curl, which is not a good thing, because when I go to replant them, especially crypts, you see the spiralis, like it's hard to plant plants when they're crooked like this. See how it's curled down? It makes it real hard to replant. That's from them floating for a couple of days. They start to follow the light and bend up. See the Archaeodorypens? Same thing. So that's gonna be a headache. Putting them all back right. I'm planning on doing something a little different with them. But you can see kind of these aren't curled up as bad in here because this light is very weak, but the ones in the 38 are sitting right under the fluval light, and they're bending a lot. Some of these have stayed real healthy because the tops are up here, but some of them that are a little more under the water with no CO2 here, some of these plants are starting to get a little holy in the leaves and stuff, because I mean they're used to being fertilized and water changed and have CO2 pumping all the time, so they have less light, less everything. I haven't fertilized this tank since I took the plants out, and that was a few days ago. So for right now, the soil's doing the job. And every time I have moved the soil around here, anywhere, it stirs up stuff, because I have organic potting mix soil that's sifted underneath it in a layer at the bottom. So and whenever you dirt a tank, over time it seeps up a little bit through the soil. So every time I bump or move the aqua soil or anything, it kind of swishes a little bit of that into the water column. So there's plenty of fertilization in here right now. It might be over fertilized. So decided to keep the blood vomits. I was thinking about getting rid of these guys because I have to do everything around these guys. These guys are like my little prize sensitive ones. Everything else in the tank I can kind of like do whatever I want, but these guys here, I need to keep them clean and keep them free of algae and junk floating around and stuff. So it can be kind of a hassle, like working the whole tank around one group of plants. But I still love the little blood vomits, so we're going to try to keep going with those, and I'll just plan the whole tank around them. But you can see this stuff in the back here at the top, this little bit, that's pieces from the potty mix stuff and from some of the pumice stone. The pumice stone that I used underneath the layers as sort of a, you know, like power sand. I'm never gonna do this again, because for long-term scaping and rescaping, even with soil this high, when the plant's roots get all the way down to here, when you pull plants out, no matter how careful, they pull a little bit of that up, and then it gets to the top layers, and you can see some back there. And if I move my finger around in the top layer of the soil back there, some of those little white stones start to creep up through there, and I either have to get tweezers and just go in there and just shove them down, or move the soil around and then pick all the ones out that pop up. So yeah, mental note to myself, I tried it once, it's cool, but I'm never going to do the whole little power sand type thing again. I mean, it's good for nutrition and everything and aeration under there, but it's a big pain. I mean, it's better just to have one type of soil. It's kind of like when I had sand in the front and then I changed from that, like I still see little bits of the sand and fine gravel popping up here and there with the soil, with the aqua soil. So it's kind of mixed, but yeah, that's what I'm doing here. I can't really film it because it's going to be a lot of work, a lot of steps, a lot of time, and just doing a regular video like this, just talking, ends up being like 10 minutes. So yeah, I'm not trying to bore everybody to death or like work super hard with editing and stuff like that while I got this stuff here to worry about. But I had to wait for payday for the bag of soil, and then after that I had to wait for my couple of days off so that I can have the time to do this, because it's going to take hours to do these plants, and I need to do them soon. Some of them are starting to get, you can see these leaves are getting worn here. But yeah, it's going to be a lot of work. It's stressing me out a lot. But today's Saturday and we have family stuff to do later, and we had one of the kids' football games this morning. So today's not really the day I can just really start pounding this out. So I decided to just move a couple of the pieces of wood over and try to put a couple of the rocks down, but I may just leave it for now and just be done for the day. And I can't really get in here and start whacking everything all around and get it all out of whack and then just stop there. and I can't really just get started because I can't finish it right now. So that's like the worst thing about scaping when you have a lot of plants and a lot of things. I mean, just the wood and the hardscape, just a little bit with a little bit of plants like that looks pretty good. But I mean, I have tons of plants, and they're all out, and they're all suffering and melting, and if I don't put them back. So just showing like some of the update and some of the perils of aquascaping. I'll put up a video in a day or so or whatever. Hey, the little crayfish, my orange one coming out here. It was missing a claw when I bought it. It's growing back. You guys saw the brown one a second ago, and there's my orange one. But yeah, shrimp and everybody are still okay. There's not as many of the baby shrimps in here because the mama Endler that was like the bigger one, she was like sniping these shrimp and tearing them apart, and then all the shrimp and the crayfish would all fight over it, and then she'd have to find another one to try to destroy. So right now there's not much many places like where they can hide or whatever for molting and all that. So we'll take care of that. But that's gonna be, I'm gonna do this like tomorrow morning on Sunday. I'll have time and I can just chill out and relax, maybe put some music on or something and get started on this and see it start to finish. Then after that it'll probably take a day or two for the water to really clear up and all that, and then we'll start letting things grow in. I'm gonna do things different and run like really small plants in the front. I'm not gonna do stem plants and gardening stuff in the front like it was. I'm gonna do it a little more like a regular scape, like bigger stuff, color stuff in the background, and then maybe just kind of sort of like grassy, bushy, carpety, kind of more smaller things in the front so they don't outgrow. I don't want to be major working and trimming and pruning the front in the middle all the time, and that way it won't be so much work, because I work a lot and I work 12-hour shifts at night, so sometimes I don't really have time to get in here a lot. And this tank here is my main tank, and I kind of neglect the other tanks a lot. I don't water change them very much, and I don't trim them much if they're overgrowing. So I'm gonna make this a little easier maintenance. That's it for this update, and next time when I post I'll have it rescaped and replanted. So that's it.